What up, YouTube? It's Dave Medic 1. I have another knife review for you today. This one's kind of cool. This knife I had seen reviewed a few times and was curious about it. Kind of hesitant to purchase it because it is manufactured through United Cutlery, and their stuff is, well, let's just be frank about it. They're low-end knife manufacturers. So some of the stuff you get isn't quite up to par as far as quality that you would get through the normal mainstream of your knives. So that's one of the things that kind of kept me from ordering this knife. I found it at a really good deal. Got it shipped to my house for about, I think it was $26 shipped. And I just happened to have that money just sitting there and wanted to do something a little bit, review something different. Now this knife, my personal opinions on this knife when I first saw this is that it was a very ugly knife. It is still a very ugly knife. Now that I have it in my hands and have been using it, my opinions have changed quite a bit from that. So let's take a look at it. Of course, this is the United Cutlery Willumsen Blondie. Okay, let's go over some specs on it. First off, blade length is 4 3/8 inches. The blade steel is 440C, so it's your kind of entry-level blade steel. 440C, not really known for its edge retention, but you could bring an edge back on 440C no problem. And it's a really cool knife, or cool blade steel as far as when you're learning to sharpen, because it's very it's very forgiving as far as sharpening goes or whatnot. So it's not, in my opinion, 440C, AUS 8, HCR, all those steels, they're not bad. It's just you're going to have to it takes just a little bit more maintenance as far as keeping the edge up. So it's not bad, although some people just would shy away from any knife that's 440C, and I could understand why. But me being a knife guy and the fact that I like to tinker with knives all the time, and I just wait for my knives to get a little bit dull so I can go ahead and sharpen them. This knife is just, it doesn't bother me a bit. So back to this, 4 3/8 on the blade length there. The handle length is 5 3/4 inches. The overall length, the manufacturer says 10 inches, but when I measure it, it's 10 1/8 inches. This knife is huge. This is a big knife. I love big knives, and that's pretty much the thing that made me say go ahead and buy it. It's a larger knife. For $20-something, I'm willing to take the risk on it. So if I got it, it was a piece of junk, then so be it. So it being a larger knife, that's what made me pull the trigger on there. Handle material is a highly textured G10. It's got the mill finish G10, but it's got this milled pattern on the very top, which makes the grip very grippy and very aggressive. Maybe borderline too aggressive for some folks out there, but for me it doesn't matter. My hands I'm pretty calloused up, so this is really comfortable for me. Pocket clip is tip up right hand carry only, and pretty much it suits this knife, and to me tip up is my favorite pocket clip position anyway. It's a frame lock, and it is made in China, of course, it being in United Cutlery. So let's go over some other things there. There's jimping up at the very top here on the spine of the blade and leads into the handle. Jimping up here on the back on this back spacer. It's got this cutout right here on the back end, which it could serve as a glass breaker for sure. Not a problem on there. We got a black coated blade. I believe when I'm looking at it, it's a hollow ground, which is really nice. Lends itself for slice capabilities. This is marketed as a tactical knife, and it is a tactical knife in all aspects of it. First, the ergonomics, pretty damn decent for this. Pretty comfortable. I'm not feeling any hot spots really. Reverse grip, even down here, or backed up a little bit. Feels really comfortable. The blade shape. The one thing everybody's like, well, this knife is ugly, the blade shape. It's ugly, but it makes sense. As far as its tactical capabilities, in a reverse grip, where you're going to be slicing, it makes sense. There, it still maintains a point here for piercing capabilities. The blade stock is pretty generous. So as far as how strong this is, I'd imagine it to be a little bit on the stronger side, especially for a knife that's $24. Very, very nice. Deployment on this, you can't do your normal, you can open it like that with your thumb, but you can't flick it open fast that way. But on your pointer finger, bottom side, it flicks open, no problem. And I'd rather deploy it that way anyway, because it makes sense. Instead of here, like here, on the underside, you're already ready to, in a fixed position, to go ahead and use this knife. Or if you were to flick it this way, then you get your grip back here. Makes sense on the bottom side. So this knife came to me, it was slightly off-centered leaning to the right, but with an adjustment on the pivot screw there, I got it centered right, and it still maintains its speedy deployment. Frame lock. The frame lock there, it engages. The engagement is about 75%. That could be a little bit better. Fit and finish on this could be a little bit better, but it's not bad, especially for a $20-something knife. As far as aesthetics, the textured G10 with the milling may not be for most, but it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's nice. On the underside, the frame lock, this frickin' spuge looking stuff here, I don't like it. I wish it would have either been a black finish there, or just this regular satin finish there, regular gray finish, or excuse me, gray finish there. That would have been enough for me. This design here, or this graphic that's printed on here, just doesn't do it for me. But I imagine over use that this will wear away. Maybe even if I get, if it bothers me too much, I could always sandblast this off of there or get it off of there. But all in all, for the money, this is not a bad knife. $24, 26 shipped to the house, roughly around there. You could find it anywhere, pretty much. It's readily available, and not bad. Actually, I hope that this is kind of a sign from that United Cutlery will start. I wish United Cutlery would have had a sister company branch out with this type of caliber knife, aside to distinguish itself from the run-of-the-mill stuff they have on their normal United Cutlery name there, and that would have been nice. But it is what it is. For $24, it's not bad, and you get a lot of knife for that money. You're talking about a 10-inch. This is 10 inches. This is huge. I mean, it's bigger than a Resilience. It's going to be bigger than, it's going to be around the size of your militaries, your polices, a lot of the other larger knives, and kind of in the realm where, Cold Steel seems to always be in with their larger 10-inch plus folding knives. So it's in that area there. So a lot of knife. It came razor sharp. The grind on the edge was pretty even all the way around, and not bad. Little bit downside of it is, of course, the graphics on the frame lock. I wish the lock would engage a little bit earlier, but there is no blade play up or down or left or right, so it's pretty solid. It's just a big knife. If you're into big knives, it's not a bad deal, especially just something to have in your knife. For 20 something bucks, it's not bad to throw in your knife collection there. As far as the packaging is concerned, this is a box, of course, that you get it in. One thing I noticed that kind of impressed me about it is they actually, inside here, they include a certificate of authenticity, which is kind of funny, because I don't think the Chinese are going to go ahead and maybe do a knockoff of this, although they've done knockoffs of stuff that's a lot less than this. So, but it's a nice touch. When you get it, you got a certificate of authenticity here. There is other literature in there letting you know what other items that United Cutlery offers there. On this box itself, it shows a complete picture of it. On the bottom side of it, it gives you just a brief history or information on the designer Mikkel Willumsen, that he's, of course, from Denmark, that he collaborated with United Cutlery and all this other stuff. So it's a nice touch, and I think there's companies that sell way more expensive knives than this, that I wish they would do stuff like that. That way it just adds to pride of ownership, and that it's just an added touch that a lot of people should do. I mean, you shouldn't, if you pay, I know of companies that sell designers that sell $600 customs, and it comes in a little white cheap box, and it's just a piece of plastic wrapped around their knife and some peanuts, and that's all you get. And you're like, crap, dude, I just spent $600. You couldn't even package it up or put something, where it's, I could store it if need be or whatever. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. But for $24, $26, this is what you get with the United Cutlery Willumsen Blonde Edition Tactical. Not a bad knife. Very smooth. I like it a lot. I EDC'd it today, and I think I'm going to be EDCing a lot more of it, just because it's awesome. The pocket clip is nice and low ride too, so I don't even notice it in my pocket. As far as no one else can notice it, I do feel it in my pocket because it is larger. But it's just, I'm pretty impressed. That's all I've got to say about that. So guys, if you have any comments or questions about this, please let me know. All your support's appreciated. We're going to be doing a contest here shortly within the next week or two, so stay tuned for that. So anyway, guys, peace.